Welcome to the Health Tech Invest podcast powered by Natera Ventures, your guide to healthcare investing. Join us as we explore interviews with pioneering entrepreneurs, investors, and innovative leaders, helping you spark innovation in the world of venture capital investing.
Amazing. Viwat Visuthikraisee, everyone, on the Health Tech Invest podcast. I'm so excited to have Viwat on my platform here, which is sponsored by Natera Ventures Company. Viwat is the co-founder and chief operating officer at Auransa. Pleasure to have you on the podcast, Viwat. How are you?
I'm very good, and thank you to have me. Yeah, love to.
Very good to have you. Very good to have you, man. I know this is a special event. It is Viwat's first podcast, and I'm so happy to host you on the podcast because you're going to remember this forever. I will as well, because this is it's such a pleasure. Before we kick things off, I have a couple of questions about you and your journey at Auransa. But before we kick things off, would you mind giving the listeners out there an overview about your background? Take us from the very beginning.
I'm a physicist by training. Although I'm in the healthcare, in the biopharma industry right now. Actually, my training was in physics. I did my PhD at the University of Washington, right? And then after that, I went into software industry. So, and actually there was a little bit of curiosity in Wall Street as well. So I did some learning about how those kind of financial instruments work as well. But anyhow, I went into software industry because it's interesting, right? You get to do all kind of stuff that is like innovative and doing things that you can build intelligence into your software. That's kind of things that I was interested in. Yeah, and then my whole path is along that path. It's like, okay, if I want to build software, it has to be something very interesting, very, very useful and powerful. And so that's why actually I and my co-founder started Auransa. Yeah.
Interesting. But let's back it up. What took you into software? So I get the physics degree. What drew you to software? Why did you decide to? Were you doing applied physics or was it theoretical physics? Let's ask that question first.
Yeah, I did theoretical physics.
Okay.
In my
so big leap from theoretical to software is a big leap. Then
but I did applied physics while I was in Japan.
Japan. Okay.
And actually, I went to school in Japan. Although I'm not a Japanese, I'm a Thai, but I happened to got a scholarship to go to study in Japan. And actually, that's the first time that I encountered computer.
Okay.
And right away, actually, I was sucked into it. It's like, wow. At the time, it's nothing sophisticated like today at all, right? But still, was like, wow, that's something cool. And then I start doing coding, and the first thing that I did was I tried to code Othello. I'm not sure you know the game Othello.
I've heard of it.
It's a board game. Yeah. It's a board game. Yeah. So I tried to code a program, Othello. I couldn't go far enough to make it an intelligent software, but I managed to make it as a board game where two players can play. Yeah,
That's cool. So was it like what coding modality did you use, and was it on the PC or was it?
Yes, it was on a PC. It was on a PC, and I think the language was BASIC.
BASIC. Okay.
BASIC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I used QBasic back in the day, so a little more basic. That's cool.
Yeah.
So what did you did you use BASIC or programming language in your physics work, or did physics really teach you how to think about problem solving, and then you got sucked into that world,
right.
leveraging your problem solving skills?
So this may age me a little bit. So
Yeah, right on.
so when I was in grad school, a bit pre-internet, internet just about to come out, right? And Fortran was a language that we use in science, and that's what we use still.
Fortran, it's interesting. I'm going to ask you a question on Fortran because I know Fortran. I'm not good at Fortran, but I've used it in the past. What in your mind, like it's still used today, right? It's still used today. Like, what is it about Fortran? Like, how has this prevailed for as long as it has? Like certain modalities have completely gotten phased out, like BASIC and QBasic and all that. But Fortran prevailed. What is going on there?
I think because of probably because of legacy library that of software that people have already developed, and you don't want to just redo everything, right? So probably that's the idea. And and as I started, when I started, there's tons of stuff that's available. So I need to learn all those libraries, how to use them, and I said I love I love computer the first time I saw it. So when I went to graduate school and then having to do research, and at that time, scientists, especially physicists, use a lot of computation. And so it was very natural. Everybody pretty much, when you want to do something that's so complicated, you cannot do by hand anymore. You cannot write on the paper. Solve equations on the paper. So you have to rely on.
How about the abacus? Can you still use the abacus to solve problems?
No.
The good old days. The good old days.
I have that.
I think everyone should learn how to use the abacus. That's my recommendation. I think learning how to use the abacus would teach people logic, and I think you got to learn the fundamentals before you kind of jump into all the advanced programming languages that are available out there. And now we're talking about LLMs, which I will ask you about later, Viwat, but I still want to finish your background because it's so impressive. So you went from physics, then you went into software, you did research in Japan. What part of Japan? So our company, Untapped Ventures, is based in Nagoya, Japan, which I'm very proud of. What part of Japan did you live in?
Okay. First year I was in Japan, and after that I went into college in Hokkaido.
Oh, Hokkaido. Very nice.
Yeah. The reason that I was in Japan for 1 year, that's a time that the program sponsored by the scholarship allow the students. I'm not the only one. There's a cohort of about probably 50, 60 students from mainly around Southeast Asian countries. We spent 1 year in Tokyo relearning everything, math, science, all physics, chemistry, biology, relearn everything in Japanese. And of course, most of us didn't know any Japanese at all, zero. And there's no requirement for that. So we started from learning alphabet, quote unquote alphabet, and Japanese alphabet, and singing kiddie songs, like as if we went through K to 12 in 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, as if, right. Of course, we know we already have knowledge on those subjects, but we have to relearn everything in Japanese so that we we would be able to attend the college, Japanese college, the following year. And
So did you learn, were you, which alphabet did you learn? Were you kanji? Did you learn kanji? There's three systems in Japan. Kanji, katakana, and hiragana. Which one were you?
we have to learn all three.
All three? Oh,
yes.
Goodness.
Yeah, because they come in three. They come in three. There's no separation there. Yeah.
Wow. I see. Very interesting. Very interesting. And so could you read and write in Japanese then?
Yes, of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you speak it fluently now?
I think I can manage. It's been a while.
No, this is great. So okay, so you live in Japan. What brought you to the Bay Area?
Coming to school to US was part of a dream.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Probably anybody in the world knows about US, right? And at one point, I was like, oh, I have enough experience in Japan, and US is a fascinating country, so I want to go there. A lot of things happen in the US, right? So I wanted to open, to the bigger world in some sense. I mean, going from Thailand to Japan is already opening quite a bit, but I know that there's a bigger world out there.
I hear you. That's amazing. So did you come to the Bay Area to launch a company, or were you working in a tech company before starting your current venture, which we'll get into in a little bit? But what was that journey like?
I came here to go to graduate school.
Oh, okay, got it.
I did my graduate school here at the University of Washington.
Oh, that's right. Well, so that was Seattle, though. That was Seattle, right? So
Seattle.
Got it. So you did a stint in Seattle. What brought you to the Bay Area?
This is a place where to start up.
Got it. You came for
and the sunshine.
Yes.
And the sunshine.
And the sunshine. Okay, so was Auransa your first startup?
Yes.
Okay. So you started the company in the Bay Area, and that's what. So what made you? So I guess what brought? Okay, so the sunshine and the energy brought you to the Bay Area.
That's correct.
What inspired you to start an AI-based kind of biotech company? What was your inspiration for that?
Yeah. First of all, I always wanted to start a company for some reason. Being able to do something new and exciting is always part of me, right? And then for Auransa, this particular company, this is a project to my mind, right? That, well, computation has advanced so much, and there's a lot of biological data out there, and there must be a way we can apply technology to biopharma industry, right? Other industry have already adopted technology into it, but biopharma is a little bit not quite there, right? And it changed. It's changed quite a bit now, and probably we can go a bit into that now. I mean, in the beginning when we started Auransa, that's kind of like, well, is it going to be useful? People didn't quite like the idea that you use data and computation as a starting point of doing drug discovery. That's a strange thing. There's some people doing that. We are one of them, right? But nowadays, fast forward, everybody's like, let's integrate that into the company, right? Especially after the ChatGPT became so well known, so people see how successful it is, right? And that's an eye opening, and it's like, okay, maybe it's not a bad idea at all. So big, small companies in pharmas are adopting that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. No, that's really interesting. So is how has the advancement of these different LLMs like Chat and Grok and others, how has that impacted your business, right? And what you've built, right? So has it fueled it? Has it changed it? Like, and how has it changed?
Fundamentally, it hasn't changed our approach yet. There might be something that we could do. I'll talk a bit later. But at the moment, it doesn't change anything to our core technology. But having said that, I find it very, very powerful, very, very useful. It basically, ChatGPT allows anybody who wants to learn, who wants to know more, who wants to get empowered, to be empowered to be smarter, to know a lot more. They are your smart expert assistant, not just simple assistant, but super smart assistant. So, we use ChatGPT at a certain point, like say when we want to know more about economics of a disease, or the players who is trying to solve this particular problem in this, how many people affected, those kind of things, and what kind of patterns out there, those kind of things, all the business stuff. You know a lot more before you get into starting doing the science itself.
Interesting. So asking you a question about the impact of these different LLMs and chat and everything. I say chat a lot, but there's like dozens of very well-known LLMs now. I think that number continues to grow as I run into new startups every day now that are inventing a new LLM. Is the LLM essentially the new kind of version of computer programming? Is that what's happening? And is that going to replace all of the other kind of programming languages like C++, C Sharp, and Fortran? Like, tell us about the impact that this is having on the technology development ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm not sure it changes anything around the computer languages, but it can help you write
Computer program.
codes. Yes.
So will the number of programmers decline, you think, over the next 10 years? Or what's your thought?
It's possible that it's hard to tell in a sense that there could be new things coming up, new fields. If you limit, let's say, if we don't expand the things that we do, let's say if it's static and we just want to improve efficiency in terms of times and money we spend on what we are doing right now, I would say LLM would help a lot on that, and probably reduce the number of people needed. Yeah. But,
so it's right now. So you're saying it's a productivity tool, but it's not replacing. So it's not going to. So let me ask you this. This is a dumb question, but you're one of the smartest people I know. So I feel privileged to be interviewing you. But right now we use programming languages to build software, right?
yes.
And technically speaking, the way software is built is someone who is, not as smart as a programmer and, arguably smarter in other ways. But let's say they're, a business person who has this business idea. It says, I want to build a software solution that does X, Y, and Z, and I want to sell it to the consumer. Right now, that person needs to find either a product person or a developer, and maybe a combination with each other, to create a software stack, right?
Right.
And it's very dependent on that person, right? It's very dependent on that software developer. You got to pay them a lot of money, right?
Yep.
What's the stop if Grok or ChatGPT gets so smart? What's the stop? Say I'm that business person. I dictate to ChatGPT. I say, build me a software solution that does this, that does that, and I literally walk through feature by feature, and I build this software solution. Why would I need a programmer, right? Couldn't that presumably get built within the LLM itself and transcribed into whatever coding modality we want? I guess my question is like, why even have the programming modality? Why not just build the architecture within the LLM, and then, out comes the software. You know what I mean? So
Right. I think in the future could be possible. I wouldn't say no. I don't know when it's going to come to that point, but at the moment, LLM capability is not quite there yet in terms of doing something that is really complicated, has many layers of tasks that you have to go through. Even something simpler than what you are saying, if you start going in deeper to what you want to achieve with LLM today, at one point it start become slower and kind of stuck, right?
Yeah.
So it's not quite there yet, but if you're smart enough and you're willing to learn, I think the thing you need to be willing to learn. You can use LLM to guide you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can ask the right question, and then it will expand from there.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you're right. So I think the LLMs are like conduits to learning. Say I wanted to write a program. I just remember in college, taking a C++ course. I could probably finish all of my homework in like 30 seconds on ChatGPT. Like I still reflect on the homework assignments. It was like building very, very basic code, getting progressively but more complex with algorithms and pointer functions and all that. But as I kind of reflect back on it, could have probably figured out all the projects and problems using ChatGPT. And again, I have a problem with that because now students aren't going to really have to learn programming languages. They can just use ChatGPT. And so I only ask this question because I feel like we're in this kind of like, I think we're in this crisis mode. Like chat is now a productivity tool. We're not going to need as many programmers, but to some extent, who's going to now learn C++ if they could just use ChatGPT? You know what I mean? So what does that mean for the development industry? Does it mean that programmers are now going to learn multiple programming languages and maybe have multiple jobs and be that much more productive with the use of LLMs? Or as programmers engage in programs like Chat and Grok and all that, can those LLMs learn all of that stuff via the neural net and become those languages themselves? And you won't even need programmers anymore. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just sort of a conduit for this bigger and bigger and more interesting future. But it's kind of scary when you think about it because it has such a scary, but also really exciting. You know what I mean? I say scary in the sense that, okay, lots of jobs will be lost as a result of it. But at the same time, new jobs will be created too.
Right.
And, we don't know what those new jobs are just yet, but we live in a really exciting time. I don't know. It's a really exciting.
Yeah. I know. Its future is unknown and it's exciting, and I feel the same way. It's scary at the same time. Let's say, but as a society, if we can come up together and create certain way that we can harness this new capability, and allow all of us all of us to benefit.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good thing if we, a lot of countries will go through the process of aging, right?
Yeah.
There's fewer and fewer young people in proportional wise, right? And those older people need help, right?
Yeah.
And then not enough young people to help them. And this can fill the gap without reducing the quality of life, without shrinking the economy. If we count the although we don't pay those Grok and ChatGPT the way we pay human, if we can somehow count that as part of the quote unquote GDP, then maybe it's a good thing. We can maintain the economy while having fewer people.
Well, now you're touching on a really interesting topic, which is what is the business model for the chats and the Groks of the world, right? So you're touching on something really interesting. So one could argue that you can price based on productivity and output, right? So think about it. If I'm an enterprise that relies on, say, 10 developers, and I pay those developers, $300,000 each, right? Mm-hmm. I've got a $3 million a year budget for those developers. If I now use Grok to either cut that down to one or two, or even replace all of them, I mean, think about the possibilities there. You technically would obviously price as a savings to, obviously motivate an enterprise purchaser to spend money on you. But the business model here, the more value, the more production, it really bodes well for the pricing models of some of the open AIs of the world. So I don't know. It's
yeah. I hope they don't bring up the price, but expand the usage so that create more revenue, but price the services the same way. I think it's always that way, right?
It should be a savings. It should be savings. So let me play this out. Here's the draconian scenario. So okay, I have 10 developers. I pay them $3 million a year, 300,000 each. Okay. Along comes ChatGPT or OpenAI, and they say, hey, we can save you $1 million. Just pay us $2 million instead of paying $3 million and just use our platform. Okay. And now I can afford just one developer. I'll just pay them a nominal amount to make sure there's some checks and balances. And then they use chat to do what 10 people used to do. Now, let's imagine where it gets so good that it arguably is better than those 10 people even were, right? It's infinitely more productive. But there's no developers in the world that can operate at that level. Now you've hooked me. And now if you charge me $10 million, I have to pay you $10 million. You know what I mean? So there's this, I don't know, there's a little bit of a slippery slope, I think, when it comes to this. I mean, there's benefits of being good, but right. there's also potential downfalls of being the best. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It sounds like a Black Mirror episode to some extent, but it's I don't know. I don't know what the direction is here.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the question of similar to monopoly, right? If you get to monopolize something, then it becomes dangerous, right?
That's right.
As long as the competition.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. This is why we need more LLMs. No, that's right. That's why it's one. If one is the only game in town and you're the best of the best, well, guess what? I can go to the competition and pay for that. So no, that's good.
So one thing that I want to touch on this is that we tend to think about saving in terms of, actually we tend to focus on a saving and focus on reduction in number of jobs.
Yeah.
Another part that we don't quite talk about is this powerful tool, all this machine learning, AI, LLM, all these things allow us to tackle more complex problems that wouldn't be able to do in the past. That's always a problem of related to number of people in a team. If you want to solve something very complicated, you need a lot of people. But once you have too many people, then you don't go anywhere, right? And so you want a handful of people and you give them powerful tool. That's what these things are for you. It allows you to tackle very complex problems. You don't, it's not about, it's not about eliminating people.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's about making current people more productive, right? And allowing the top line to be stronger, or helping reduce other costs, right? There are other non-labor costs that are affected here, right? So like time, right? It's a time management equation, right? So particularly in pharma, right? In pharma, it takes. So why don't we switch gears? Let's talk a little bit about Auransa. Let's also talk about where AI can move the needle in pharma. And that's something, I having spent a lot of time with pharma venture capital investing from my side, I've, encountered this a lot, right? There's sort of like this long time to get a product into the market. It takes 8 to 12 years of work, R&D, to get a molecule into the market. And sometimes you'll still spend the 8 to 12 years and that molecule will fail and it won't make it into the market. Right. So I think what you're trying to do, correct me if I'm wrong, you're trying to A, shorten that, and B, you're trying to give a little bit more foresight and allow the pharmaceutical companies to better prioritize what they focus on. Is that right?
Yeah. The first thing I want to address is that again, people tend to focus on the in this area, time and the saving itself. That's secondary to me. It's because in the biopharma, we are dealing with human here.
Yeah.
Everything that we do, we want to be a bit more careful. We cannot do experiment like say, okay, like, let's push this app out and then see people like it or not like it. All right. The consequence is small. It doesn't kill anybody. But for biopharma, you don't want to do that, right? And you don't want to kill anybody, right? So you want to be careful. So there's things that you follow, and it's a good thing, but it also make it harder to move move the project forward, right? So what we do, before I talk about how it been the computation technology benefit us in the early part. Let's say once we pass certain step, we still need to do lab experiments, creating those data, submit those things to FDA. When we go into the clinical trial, you still have to go through those steps. And software technology can help somewhat, but it's still mainly paced by the biological nature of the problem. Like you want to recruit a patient, you cannot just recruit anybody. The patient have to go through certain steps and do certain tests, and doctors will need to qualify the patient before that patient goes in the clinical trial, for example. In synthesis of the drug, there's certain steps there's steps that you have to follow. You have to document everything, make sure that things are reproducible. Quality of the drug is to the standard and not fluctuate. Those kind of things. So this kind of thing you cannot shrink that much. thing that we can shrink is in the beginning.
In the beginning. And that's tell us, assume, our listeners don't have the background. What does that mean at the beginning? What's the beginning part of the pharma development cycle?
So I'll address that. So shrinkage in the beginning. And another important part is that what we are trying to do is to get the right solution, the right solution. Because a lot of time, the big expense in biopharma world is on the failed drugs. You thought this is a great idea, you invest and you bring it forward on and on until you hit the wall. And the other times like, oh no, I spent $100 million on this, right? And that's,
wow.
You know what I mean? That's kind of
happens a lot.
That's too late, right?
Yeah.
But it happens. You don't know until you reach there. And the most useful thing that we can do is to eliminate the number of failures, if you can, right?
I see.
Right.
I see.
So I often say it's not about running fast. Running fast is good, but more important is to run to the right direction.
Got it. Speed, direction, not necessarily speed. I mean, speed is always important, but knowing what direction to go down is probably the most important.
Yes. Yes.
What does direction mean in the context of Auransa?
So it means we want to find a drug that we believe will be effective, will be good for patients as early as possible, right? So what we do is we use tons of data, and all this data are related to human. What I mean is that it's not data that come from a cell on the dish. It's not data that come from animals, but data that comes from humans. So let's say if we want to solve cancer, we use molecular data from tumor that patients gladly want to dispose, right? That's what we use, right? And we in a new way of thinking is that you're not trying to build hypothesis. You're not trying to build algorithm to do A, B, and C, and D, and then you don't build software that way. Nowadays, it's like, hey, let the data teach you. You use the data to teach, to come up with the way, like ChatGPT, right? How it thinks. It's not like you don't program how an LLM would think.
Yeah.
You use the data, you provide it the data, and it learns from the data, right?
I see.
So, yeah. So same way, at Auransa, we don't start with hypothesis. We're like, oh, okay, that biology should work. That biology is interesting. Let's do it. That's traditional way. What we do here is that we let the data tell us, hey, there's something cool here.
Got it.
Let's dig in. Let's dig in and find out. And we start from there. And then we say, then we find more supporting evidence that something should work. That's how we do it. And it's all based on human data. Right?
Interesting. What's been the most surprising lesson that you've learned from building Auransa?
Surprising lesson. On the on the good one side first. We didn't know when we started. We didn't know how well it's going to be, and the result was quite surprising.
A pleasant surprise.
Pleasant surprise that we did quite well, and I mean today we have a drug in a clinical trial right now.
Oh, really? Interesting. Is that public information that you could share with listeners or no?
Yeah, I can share some. I can share some. So this is a drug for liver cancer.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
a new molecule, and so we have a composition matter protection.
Cool.
So and it's a new mechanism of action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now for liver cancer, there are two classes of drug. One is called TKI. Another one is IO, immuno-oncology drug, right? And TKI came first, and IO become the first line. But our drug is totally different. It can become another line of treatment that we can make available, right? So good.
Where is it in the process? How long before you think it can be taken by humans in normal treatment protocols? Is it 5 years, 3 years, 2 years? What's the timeline do you estimate?
Okay, so it could be as fast as 3 years, or it could be a bit longer. If we can show some, do some what's called pivotal trial,
Yeah.
and then we start showing great result, we can start making it available for our patients sooner than rather. Right.
That's awesome. That is amazing. My cousin's mother passed away from liver cancer. I don't know what that would make her in my family tree, but I guess an aunt. But she passed away from liver cancer. It's a horrible illness. So I'd love to see something game changing for liver cancer. It's great to see you working on that. Anything else that you're able to share in the pipeline, or is that the primary thing for now?
Well, we have certain things in the pipeline,
Cool.
other programs in the pipeline. Just want to say that right now we are focusing on, we put a lot of resources into this liver cancer because that's how biopharma operates.
Sure.
Once you find something that is great, you want to push that. Yeah. Push that and put all your resources there. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's how the environment is right now, especially right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly anybody is doing early discovery at the moment.
Got it.
Yeah, all they want is clinical program. Yeah,
wow.
That's right now. Yeah. So until things change, that's how we are going to operate as well. Because we are not we are not living. We are not the only company in the sector. Right? We rely on partners, etc. So we have to operate in that environment. But no, we would love that mindset to change if the investment environment change accordingly. And because we have the technology platform that would allow us to tackle many diseases simultaneously, right? And if the mindset is different, if people are willing to say, okay, let's do things in parallel, put a lot more money into early discovery, that'd be great. I mean, really, yeah. Yeah. So right now our focus is on cancer.
Mm-hmm.
There are all kind of cancer that we can tackle, including like now one is prostate cancer, late stage prostate cancer.
Yeah, that's another terrible one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the great drug for prostate cancer, but at certain point, the tumor become resistant to the drug, and they are all the drugs available in now are all related in the same area, related to hormonal pathway. What we are interested is to find those tumor data that have become resistant to those drugs, and we have those data, right? And we can
Cool.
find drugs for those, right? Yeah, that's something.
To use that, so you would use that data to then build to outsmart the tumors. Is
Yeah.
that how you're thinking about it? Wow.
Yes. And currently, let's say if you have no idea how to tackle it, then you're kind of sitting there,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But you have data. Hey, let's use that data to show us something, right?
Cool.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, and so focus is cancer, but we also can do neuro diseases as well. We have interest in ALS, in bipolar, for example.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
For behavioral health, like bipolar, type 1, type 2?
Yeah. Right now we have something that, I don't know, early stage, a bit too early to share.
Categorize. To categorize. Got it. Or to share. To share. Got it.
Yeah. It's
Understood.
Yeah. But it's cool that, our platform predict some candidates, and we just bring the top candidate, just one of them, and test it in the lab, and just hole in one.
That's cool, man. So, Viwat, if you were at a dinner party, right? If you were at a dinner party, how would you describe Auransa in one sentence?
In one sentence, we just say we are AI-based drug discovery company.
Yeah. Would it be fair to say you are using AI to bring drugs to the market? You're the first ever drug discovery, and I mean, maybe not first ever, but you are the best AI-based drug discovery platform in the world.
I think we are one of the best.
One of the best. I like that.
One of the best.
That's genuine. That's genuine. So you're helping big pharma, because for people listening, they may not know what drug discovery is. It's sort of self-explanatory, but you're essentially using AI to help pharmaceutical companies develop drugs and bring them to market. That's essentially what you're doing.
Yes.
Very cool.
We're focusing on finding new treatments.
Yeah.
And there are many ways to do that, and there are other companies in the sector doing this in a different way. So I don't want to say that we are better than them, because they are doing it different way.
Yeah.
Apply technology in a different part of the process. So our specialty is understanding the biology of the disease, and we try to get the right solution at get-go. And we are not kind of like, hey, there's something working, let's find the next generation of it.
Cool.
We are not that.
You're not that. You're not a Me Too drug kind of model.
No, we are not Me Too. There are companies that doing great job on that kind of Me Too. Yeah.
I love it. No, I think you guys are the best in the biz. I love it. I've seen a lot of other AI-based drug discovery companies, and at our current platform at Untapped Ventures sits a little bit outside of the scope of what we're looking at right now. But I've spent a lot of time in this space, and I've gotten to know Auransa quite a bit over the years, and can attest to it being really valuable to your stakeholders. I've spoken to a lot of pharma companies that have engaged with you all, and it's great work. You guys are really transforming the industry with your secret sauce, and your data set very comprehensive from what I've heard in the market. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, though. I want to get into the personal, the Viwat. I want to get to know Viwat better as a person, as a leader at Auransa. First and foremost, so you're the COO, but you're also the co-founder. Tell us, what's the part of your job that you love the most? What gets you up every morning and I can't wait to do this?
Yeah, I love to see the progress of the drug development, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the main thing, right? My focus is to make the company successful, and seeing those things progressing forward is quite rewarding, right? So I'm wearing many hats, because I want to, you need somebody in a company,
Mhm.
at least one, have more, the better, to orchestrate and bring everything together, right? We make a decision in as a team. We want to see that, oh, okay, is this drug, is this pathway, is this molecule the way to go, right? And we look at all the landscape, and
Yeah.
we look at what kind of assay that we can use, what's the path for developing this, who be interested to partner with us in the future, because that's also something that I learned, that that's very important part as well, because investment is huge in this area. We would love to. We have platform that we can bring so many drugs forward, but you cannot do it alone if you want to do that, right? You need partnership, and yeah. So that's something that I learned along the way. That
Amazing.
also
So
figure out your partners early.
figure out your partners early. That would be, is that so? So when you think about when you build a company, for all the listeners out there who are operators, what's your advice to those operators? What kind of advice would you give to our fellow founders that are aspiring to be a COO or a co-founder of a company?
Knowing your technology is great, for sure. I mean, that's a driving part, but pay attention to your capital, the source, and how to use it, and then building the right team. Team is super important, and get, especially the senior level, you need somebody who you can work with very well, share your same passion, share the same way that you think should be done, and operate, be open with each other. And then on the financial part, raise money whenever you can. I heard that before, but when you see the situation like right now, it's like, wow, that's really true.
Hard.
The moment is like nobody wants to open the wallet. Yeah. So,
It's never easy to raise money, but it's very hard right now. Nobody is, to your point, opening their wallets. The macroeconomics are scarce. Yeah.
yeah. And one thing I learned is that do the best for your company, not for the investors.
Good. But doing what's best for the company should be what's best for the investors, right?
Well, there's a nuance in there. It should be the same thing, right?
Should be the same.
The same thing. But when I started, I thought we should make the best ROI for the investors.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
That's not necessarily what the top metric that you want to use, because if you want the other element that you want to do for your investor to give them comfort. There's a balance between that, ROI and comfort. So you don't want to push the limit. To say, okay, I'm going to hold on the fundraising, because when I hit that inflection point, the values go super high, right? That's a great ROI. But at the same time, you are going to deplete your capital, right? And then at one point, investors will be nervous.
I see.
You, as a operator, you you have all the information about the company.
Mhm.
Can kind of know, but investors don't know.
They only know what they hear about at board meetings, right? I mean, general or information rights, right? They only know.
Right. And the investors have a lot of companies, and in order to attend to deeply understand a company, that investor would have to spend quite a bit of time, and I don't think they can afford to do that. So investors would tend to be a little bit fearful if they are not sure whether you'll be raising money on time, right? And that is not great for that's something we learned that it's not great. So ROI don't try to push to the limit.
I see. Yeah. And it's look, I mean, in my opinion, it's sometimes if you do what's best for the so my view is what's best for the company can generate a phenomenal ROI and maybe the more optimal ROI, but it might take a little longer, right? I think that's the needle that we're threading here, right? Because I've been an operator myself, and have done lots of work in running companies, selling it, and have also been an investor for almost 20 years. And I will say that if done right, patience is a virtue, right? And sometimes you will get that better ROI if you do what's best for the company today. Now, it might obviate a short-term ROI, but your better outcome is waiting and really building that company in the most optimal way possible. At least that's how I think about it. And sometimes it's not obvious to an investor because investors have limited partners, right? They have DPI pressure, right? They're trying to bring cash into the door, or through the door, I should say, and they're trying to get realized gains, both for their limited partners and for themselves, right? And so it is a little tricky. It is a tricky thing.
And it's natural in that sense because investors know a bit more about the company. The founders, the operators know a lot. The LP would know even less. So have no visibility at all. So all they see is those IR or and so that's what it is. So unless they come closer, they would not know how to change the way things be done.
Amazing. Well, look, Viwat, this has been an awesome podcast. I've really enjoyed the conversation here. We've covered a lot of topics, but I have to ask you kind of one last question here. So you're a co-founder, you're a COO of a rapidly growing AI-based drug discovery platform. Presumably, you have a lot on your mind day to day. You're responsible for, like you said, you wear so many hats. What do you do to decompress? What do you do when you have too much on your mind and you need to let go? What helps you get through the tough times?
Well, you need to find some time of the day that you do something different.
Yeah.
Mundane thing is good. Doing some chores, doing some exercise, just switch off. Otherwise, it's impossible.
So are you a runner? What kind of exercise do you like to do?
Almost every night, I will turn on the TV.
Yeah.
And in front of that, I just go through strength training.
Awesome. That's strength. So the lifelong argument, strength versus endurance training. I think strength wins. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. Strength is number one.
Yeah. External strength builds inner strength.
Yes.
I think that's important. No, you got to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of all the other things on your plate, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Amazing. Well, Viwat, this was really awesome. Any parting words for our listeners out there? Any kind of last, any message that you want to leave for our listeners, and then give us how they can best contact you. If one of our listeners wants to reach out, please give us your info.
Yeah, I think we are in the era where there's tons of information, tons of useful stuff that can empower you, and you can be anything you want if you really want to be. And if you want that, go out there. There's tons of stuff that can help you. Just set your mind on that and then work on it. And you would be surprised how far you can go.
Inspirational. Thank you for bestowing that upon us. We, the listeners, will appreciate that. Where can people find your information, Viwat? Are you any contact info? Should people reach out to you on LinkedIn? Go on your website? What does all that look like?
Yeah, I'm not on any.
That's right. That's right. You're not.
I'm not on any social media.
Perfect.
Because I find it's distracting.
Distracting. Fair enough.
So, I like to be not on the receiving side. I like to go and find things that I want instead of things coming to me.
You're a smart man. No distractions. So your company's website is auransa.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and that's spelled AURANSA.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. Well, Viwat Visuthikraisee. It was that's a mouthful. Apologies, can't. His last name is a mouthful. But Viwat Visuthikraisee, co-founder and chief operating officer at Auransa. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yep.
And looking forward to staying in touch and rocking and rolling with you.
Thank you. I enjoyed the conversation. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Viwat. Have a great one. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Health Tech Invest podcast, powered by Natera Ventures, your go-to source for healthcare and tech venture investing. For additional information, resources, and ways to connect with us, please visit nateraventures.com. Together, let's spark innovation for the future of tech and healthcare investing.